How's it going, YouTube? Today I'm bringing you guys a game from the Panda 2. It's a road squid mirror match between Soul and Roxos. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a like and a sub. Thank you guys so much for watching.
A little bit rough, right? If you're playing against this Rose Queen Silverbolt, do you bring your own Rose Queen into this and make it a mirror match?
Well, I feel like this is one of those times where, like, aside from what the game will tell you, like your matchup or anything, like, I feel like Roxos feels like he's gonna have to prove himself with his own Rose Queen, right?
I mean, there's a sense of pride, right?
Right,
Soul's bringing a Rose Queen deck, and like you were the one who brought Rose Queen the previous tournament,
right? But there is some pride in there, and he does go for the Rose Queen. So we have a Rose Queen mirror match.
Oh man,
man, where else can you see this type of action?
Something interesting to note: Roxos does not run any roaches, so he doesn't have the burst like Soul.
But he runs Purgatory instead.
Right, he runs Purgatory with some Altered Fates to kind of declunkify his hand, using those fairies and cycling into his better cards. So we'll see which one is better. Going second definitely will have a huge impact on this match, though.
On the other hand, Soul runs Silver Bolt and only 2 Rose Queens. But he runs the Roach instead, so...
It's another form of burst.
Do you Justice the 1/1? I mean, you're not going to Roach it, so... He just passes. I think this is fine. You can take 1 damage. It's not that bad.
And also, you know that your opponent doesn't run any Lisas, so, you know, there's nothing really to be that afraid of.
Yeah, he just evolves a fairy here. Nothing too scary. So you can Ancient Elf here. It fights the board fairly well.
Right.
He's going to Justice now, though.
The problem with Ancient Elfing here is that your opponent gets a bigger, better Ancient Elf. It's a 4/5 over your 2/3.
Right. It also dies to like a May or a Justice, right?
Exactly. And that would be really punishing, and I think that could almost determine the game. See, there's the Ancient Elf.
So you're right. So if you had Ancient Elf, then Roxos would just get a bigger Ancient Elf and then get pretty good trades, obviously. So Soul has a very awkward hand here, to be honest.
I mean, you just bounce and you just kind of match the Ancient Elf a little bit. It does die to an evolved Elven Princess Mage, which is a possibility, right, for Forest?
Yeah, we see like the Fairy Princess and the Rose Queen. They're good cards, but they have requirements to be played, right?
And, you know, we see the wow, second Ancient Elf to loop and kind of, you know, regen that Ancient Elf.
Sometimes when you Ancient Elf, it's kind of awkward. But sometimes, like here, it's pretty good.
Right, and that's 6/7, meaning that no matter what is played on the next turn, it cannot be cleared unless it's like, you know, a Dance of Death or something, right?
He gets out of Will of the Forest range, which is probably pretty smart from Roxos. He had the extra able going second, so why not? So do you set yourself up for a Will of the Forest next turn? Play Princess Mage, E-Boy, just keep the fairies for the Will of the Forest?
I feel like that's the play. Because I feel like at this point you're definitely taking the 6 damage to face. You might as well set up yourself to try to clear it better. Although the problem with Will of the Forest, RNG might hurt you a bit. So I think you definitely have to cash in the Elven Princess Mage at the same time.
It's a scary play though. You're taking, like as Roxos, you don't trade, right? You take the 6 damage to the face.
Yeah. Well, I think you
though,
have to trade.
Yeah, Roxos doesn't play the roaches, so like if you had a roach in your hand, you might just cash in your 6 damage to the face. But he doesn't run roach, so maybe he trades. You know, he's playing a slower game with Purgatory and Rose Queen.
True. I think if you're Soul, you cash this in, right? Interesting.
Well, I think this way you force Roxos to trade. If you cash in, if you just attack, then you give him the free damage, the 6 damage for free.
But this is the exact punish.
Yeah, you get punished, it gets cleared. Then you still don't answer the 6/7. Then on top of that, the Will of the Forest won't clear either. Will Will of the Forest clear? No, it will not.
It will not. If he did trade in, it still wouldn't clear, but it would give him a better chance of clearing.
Which is smart. It makes the Will of the Forest worse.
Ouch. This just hurts, man. This hurts to watch. This,
You have the Will of the Forest anyway, yeah. You get Fairy Beast, but Fairy Beast doesn't even kill the 6/7. Like, the fact that the Ancient Elf was the 6/7 was so huge for Roxos.
Oh man, that just hurts. That hurts so bad. But he can clear, you know, evolving the fairy.
Yeah, he finally gets a clear. And, like, he took a lot of damage from that, but again, Roxos doesn't have roaches, so I think Soul might be okay. He can also heal up with the Fairy Beast, which is nice.
I think, yeah, next turn you have to evolve with the Fairy Beast. And if you happen to draw into a guidance, I think you'd want to bounce your Fairy Beast back, maybe?
Ooh, as soon as Soul finally clears the Ancient Elf, we see a second one come out. And he's going to evo it preemptively as well. Make it a 7-8 this time.
Oh, that's so juicy. He needs the second. He needs another Will of the Forest here.
Yeah, not even a Tia could clear this.
Not even Tia. Feels bad, man. And even if you had a Tia, you could get counter Tia'd, right? And then your Tia would get cleared regardless, so...
So, do you play the Fairy Beast, heal for 7, and then you take 7 to the face anyway?
I think that's the best play. Otherwise, you might just... I mean, I don't want to say you're gonna die because there's no roaches, but you're basically signing your own death.
Yeah, Roxos is only at 8 shadows, so no Purgatory yet. No Rose Queen either. Rose Queen probably won't come till after 9, so I guess you're okay with this. Let's him draw for something, because I really don't know what the answer to the 7-8 is. It is so big.
My question is why Soul didn't bounce the Fairy Beast back to hand. I know it's kind of bad because it leaves nothing on board, but it does allow you to recycle it.
I feel like if you just stall up with the Fairy Beast, you heal 7 a turn, you take 7 a turn, and on top of that, Roxos is also board, so...
That's true. It's not like you're getting any closer to winning.
At least this way, Roxos spends some of his turn dealing with it, and he only gets an extra 1/1, as opposed to, you know, going completely ham.
Oh man, this just feels kind of bad.
Do you roach to kill this?
I think you have to, yeah.
He doesn't have an Evo though.
Huh. Don't tell me he's gonna double
both
roach.
roaches.
No, not like this.
He might have to though. He might have to.
Not like this. Oh, this hurts. Oh, that hurts so bad.
I mean, it seems bad value-wise, but he had to do that.
No, definitely. And you still have the Fairy Princess in hand, so you could, you know, fill up your hand a bit.
Yeah, he does have Fairy Princess into Rose Queen, which is nice. The problem is, again, that is a slow play, and I feel like Roxos is still in control of this game right now, at least. Will we see a Tia come out?
No space.
Well, if he clears the 1/1, right? If he plays Tia and it burns it, he will never hear the end of it. He has to trade in the 1/1 Fairy first, yeah.
If a Tia comes down, that's pretty big.
No Tia. You know, what is in Roxos' hand? Like, he was primed to play a Tia there and go ham. Maybe he's got Rose Queens, maybe he's got Purgatories.
Do you Nature's Guidance your Ancient Elf after trading and then play it again? Interesting.
He goes for the Fairy Princess. I think he wants to go for a Rose Queen. I think that's how you win this game, honestly. Like, he was able to stabilize, and he's not at risk of dying right now because no roaches again. So, I mean, why not go for the Dream Rose Queen?
This is a pretty juicy hand, you are right.
Yeah, in turn 10, you can do 15 damage. So, he needs one Fairy to do 1 damage, and then 1 extra turn after Rose Queen. So, it is slow, but before, I did not see how Soul would win this game. Now, he has a plan, right?
That is true. He has still 8 damage on board. He has Rose Queen plus 1 Thorn Burst next turn.
Yeah, so you can play Rose Queen and Burst at the same time, and you still have enough left over to kill, so... Well, assuming he does 1 damage, right? Again, he can only do 15 with the Burst, right?
That is correct. Which means he has to do 1 damage at some point.
Now, Roxos isn't playing Rose Queen, and he only has 15 shadows, so... I don't think he can kill soon.
I mean...
Bard is kind of slow.
This isn't looking so good for Roxas,
I feel like
you know?
Soul smells blood here. You play the Rose Queen, you burst the Bard, go face for 4. Wow,
oh, even a Silver Bolt! Oh, no!
Rose Queen is still better though, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure, definitely.
And you do kill the Bard, just in case, right?
I think better safe than sorry. Like,
yeah,
you have lethal next turn anyway.
You still have 5 left over. So, like, all of Roxas' kill combos take at least 2 turns, right? He cannot Fate, Fate, Purgatory, that won't kill. Rose Queen is too slow. And Soul will take it. Beating Roxas with the Rose Queen. It looked so bad for Soul there. When he had both the Ancient Elves, one a 6-7, one a 7-8. It looked so bad. He goes for the Silver Bolt instead. I respect that.
Whoa, you're strong.
Just a little bit of spice in there. Throwing in that extra nice little Silver Bolt for 8.
Alright, so Soul will take it. And he will advance against Mango.